Now, I chose this topic and this month's content very specifically because I have to pay taxes. And that scares me. Money is always a topic where, as women, as professionals, and as people in career who are seeking career professional advancement, I'm bringing you some content today that I think you're going to love. Let's go ahead and get started. We are recording this, and this recording, along with notes and content from the session, will be sent out to everyone who is on today. If you are new, we welcome you to Colorado Career Connectors. We are a community that is very inclusive. I bring you the top speakers with what they do. And today, Jenn and Shelly are absolutely in that high-level realm of excellent speakers. I've seen both of them speak. I've been in rooms with both of them, and I can't wait for you to get to know them even better. I'm going to share my screen, and we will go ahead and get started. And welcome, everyone. Can you see my screen okay? Yes? Jolene and Carol. Carol, it's awesome to have you here. And Shai and Marla and Pam, welcome. And Wendy, if I haven't welcomed you already, if hopefully y'all can see this okay. I'm admitting people, so did I too. Okay. Can you all see that okay? Yes?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. We are talking today about money and life in career transition, but it's much more about career transition. I'm gonna give you a featured book that has really been helping me with abundance. And this month is all about money and values and abundance so that as humans, we can live a much better life. Today specifically, we have Jenn Uhen and Shelly Schell, and I will be introducing them in just a second. If you haven't met, and if you and I haven't met, I'm Shelly. I know it's spelled weird, right? People are like, how do you pronounce that? It's Shelly Johnson, and I provide creative talent solutions for individuals and companies. I do recruitment consulting for construction companies, startup companies. And so I'm both a recruiter, a coach, and a community organizer and changer. My signature speech is, how do you unleash your career and professional edge? Each one of us has an edge. What if you don't know how to network the right way? What if you have money tie issues that you're aligned to? We're going to polish up those edges today. And we're hopefully going to give you nuggets that you can use to align and not have so much fear around this topic. I started Colorado Career Connectors in March of 2021, and we grew organically to now over 900 people across Colorado and across the United States. We are here to help the Colorado workforce, to bring the best speakers that really care about you as individuals, to see you promote and really unleash your edge so that you speak your value, you earn what you are worth. We close that equity gap, especially for women. And I also have a series called Behind the Recruitment Curtain, which is where I bring the heads of recruitment to you as job seekers or those that want professional advancement. So let's get started. All of you may know my right hand or director of operations for Colorado Career Connectors. Yvette's not feeling so hot today, so she is just going to be in the background helping. If you have needs for graphic design or branding or logos or anything, Yvette not only helps me, but she helps small business owners to brand and really speak their story. So I'm very lucky to have her on my side helping me do that. If you have not already subscribed to our website, which we launched about 3 months ago, please do so. We have on Meetup, it says that we have 745 members now, but the secret is we have over 150 within Colorado Career Connectors. So keep the word going. I see a lot of familiar faces here. And if you know people who this content can help, please get the word out. Colorado Career Connectors has just been named to the Denver Scale Up Network. And that's quite an honor because we are one of 18 startups in the Denver area that has been recognized as growing very quickly. And so I'm honored to be part of that with companies like Interview IA, Dope Mom Life, Gojo, auto dealerships, and many, many others, Scotty Tire Bikes, etc. So I want to just highlight a member today and let you know of a financial side gig that Lisa Lemunyon told me about. Lisa is in accounting for the state of Colorado, and she does a side gig at Coors Field. So Coors Field is hiring in the audit area. Lisa, are you with us today? I do see her here. Lisa is someone that you, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. I asked Lisa about 30 minutes before this if it was okay if I highlighted her because she told me about this. Lisa is very well connected with many job seeker networks. Lisa, do you just want to say hi and kind of introduce yourself by any chance?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I can't be on video, but yeah, my name's Lisa Lemunyon. I work at Coors Field. It's my side gig. So the area I work in at Coors Field is the audit area, so it's totally an office role. So it's all for the home games, and it's about 6 hours that you'd be there for a game. You don't have to pay the typical parking downtown. That would be outrageous. So the people that work at Coors Field, the parking is only $1. So yeah, we're definitely looking for audit people. And I'm happy to connect with other people, tell people how to also get hired on with the state. I mean, when I came to the state, I actually was a temp. And so there's a process to getting on full-time with the state as well. There's a whole rules on that. But yeah, I'm happy to connect with people even outside of state of Colorado jobs, and also happy to send people the link to apply for Coors Field as well. So I'm happy to do that. I mean, I love to share my network with other people. Yeah, so just feel free to send me a connection to that LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to help you with, researching a company and trying to find ways in. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I have personally sent her notices of, hey, do you know anybody in finance? And she's gotten the word out to other people. So if you are in finance, or if you know, hint, hint, a CFO that's looking, that's one of you on the phone, Lisa would be great to connect with.
I would put in a plug for Lisa as well. I'm in HR, but she is an ultimate networker and will send you stuff out of the blue. And if you ask her for help, or even if you don't, she'll help you. So yeah, bravo. Thank you.
Bravo. Thank you, Lynette. I really appreciate that. Okay. I want to introduce you to the founder of the Pledgettes. Her name is Jenn Uhen. She's going to be talking with us first. She's a founder, an organizer, and a community asset. Jenn, I see Jenn at Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce. I see her at BizLifeCon with Second Act Women. She and I are in the same areas. And I went to a Pledgettes event last year, and Jenn has curated this beautiful group of women that need to learn more about finance. So she's going to tell you all about that when she introduces herself. And so we're going to switch over to that in just a moment. And then after Jenn speaks, we're going to have, we're going the wrong way, Shelly Schell. Shelly and I actually met through my coach, who is Cammie Gildner, and our kids go to the same school and they're in the same grade. But we didn't know that until we met through our coach. Shelly is a new sponsor for Colorado Career Connectors. We are so happy to have you, Shelly. And she's a partner and financial strategist with PRISM Financial. And both Jenn and Shelly are going to be talking about money and values and abundance and really how you can strive for the best abundance and in life and in both career. Before we jump to that, I wanted to let you know of a tour, and I'm actually guiding people in Spain and Portugal this fall. You might be like, what does this have to do with money and abundance and values? 7 years ago, I went to El Camino de Santiago, which is, if you know the way, and I had an inner pilgrimage. And I want to do that for other people who have felt stressed or overwhelmed. And so this is our QR code. Yvette and I are going to be partnering to lead an epic adventure in Portugal, walking 80 miles to Santiago de Compostela in late September. If you're interested, I'd really love to chat with you about it, because this inner pilgrimage that I had set the seeds of what I'm now doing, who I am as a person, and the abundance that I'm receiving and able to give. So please let us know if you're interested in that. I also wanted to feature a book that I really suggest many of you look at, and it's not about your money. It's actually about abundance in your heart and in your soul. It's called It's Not Your Money with Tosha Silver. How many of you have heard of this? Jolene, I know you should raise your hand.
Yeah.
I strongly recommend this book, because so many times we as women especially aren't open to receiving. And we have all these ideas in our head that it's hard to make money and I can't ask for what I'm worth. And I'm not worthy to receive that. There is an abundance prayer, if you will, and I know that's a strong word. I'm not religious at all, but it kind of has these words to it. So this is the part of the woo-woo of today, and I hope that's okay with you all. Allow me to give with ease and abundance. If you go into April with a different mindset, allowing more ease and abundance, and a conduit for prosperity, that's what I'm hoping that Shelly and Jenn are able to bring to you today and be your conduit for prosperity. Let me trust that all of my needs are always met in amazing ways. Can you imagine if we had that mantra day in and day out? And equally, let me feel wildly open to receiving. So I hope that you are taking this mantra and that you're feeling wildly open to receiving. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself. Because when we do that, abundance comes toward us so much more. Here's how you connect with me. I'm going to turn it over to Jenn Uhen. I'm also going to let you know that next Monday, we have a very good friend of mine, Katie Double Ortman, who has had cancer for 9 years, and she is a vice president and a recruiter. She's going to talk to you about how to create a life that you love from a recruiter's perspective. She's funny, you'll laugh, you'll cry. It's about true abundance, and I hope that you get nuggets from today. And I hope that you get nuggets from all of the content that you will receive from Colorado Career Connectors. I highly recommend Tosha Silver's book. Without further ado, Jenn, I'd like to turn it over to you. And Jenn Uhen is the founder of the Pledgettes. She is a change maker in the Denver community. I strongly recommend that you look at the Pledgettes. This month is Financial Literacy Month, where she is speaking and doing a lot of assistance in speaking and just really bringing up the topics that sometimes women and men are afraid to talk about. So Jenn, I'm happy to have you here, and please go take it away.
Thank you so much, Shelly. And I thank you all for joining this brave conversation around money today, and taking an active role in your personal finance, because each individual money move you make contributes to a collective impact on where wealth sits in this country. And we know that when women hold more wealth, they reinvest and build healthier and wealthier communities. And I'm so excited about that, and bringing this conversation here to the Colorado Career Connectors. It wouldn't be a financial talk without a quick disclaimer. I am not a licensed financial professional. I'm a community organizer that facilitates money conversations. I bring in a lot of certified financial planners like Shelly, who you'll hear from in a bit here, and different financial professionals that can talk ad nauseum about their favorite money topics. But mine is more this foundational element of quick actions that we can take. I'm not giving any financial advice today. I do believe that everyone has something to share and everyone has something to learn. I'm happy to share my experience with you and connect you to people who can help with your goals and where you're at in your current financial situation, but I will not give you personal advice, nor will I ever ask to see any balances of any of your accounts. That's not my role here. But a little bit about me. I believe that your personal financial journey is a series of right time, right place money conversations. I grew up in a family that openly talked about money. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I've spent my career connecting my clients with their audiences. I started in the music industry. I moved to consumer packaged goods, auto, beer, wine, and spirits, pharma, a lot of this before I left full-time in 2017 to go freelance, and can talk a little bit more about that experience as we kind of go through our values. And one of that was traveling and finding experiences and living a life today that I want to live throughout my life. And so in 2017, I left full-time work. My husband and I started traveling full-time in our Airstream RV travel trailer, those iconic silver ones. And it was incredible. Then in 2019, I saw that not everyone grew up having those same money conversations that I did. And there were two reactions that I would get when I would have a money conversation with a woman. One, she would lean in, she'd be excited that somebody else wanted to talk about this taboo topic. She had clear goals and was confidently taking action towards them. And the other reaction I would get is a physical recoil and people walking away from me. They felt shame, overwhelmed, stress, a lot of negative emotions around money. And money is 80% emotional. Our financial decisions are 80% emotional. And so we do need to talk about that aspect of it too. And so I created the Pledgettes as a community for women to talk about money. It's a safe place to celebrate, share, and ask questions. My money philosophy at its base core level is that money is choice. If I have $1, I can save it, spend it, invest it, donate it. Hopefully I don't drop it on the ground and walk away. But as we build up more wealth, it gives us freedom and flexibility. And something that my personal financial journey allowed me to do was to take that risk and go from full-time to freelance to I've taken 2 sabbaticals in my career, and having that confidence with my money and having those clear goals allows me a lot more freedom and flexibility. And at its highest level, money is power and control, and we can see a lot of examples of those in our society. So I love to say that I'm not a self-made man. That's a fallacy. I am a community-made woman, and I want to celebrate everybody who has helped me on my personal financial journey. I feel like those self-made men, like, they're hiding people in the shadows. They're hiding their mentors. They're hiding the investors that have taken risks on them, or the sponsors in their career who help them advocate for a raise or a promotion or a new opportunity. And so let's, share all those people who've helped us on our personal financial journey. So today we're talking about money and values. I would love to hear in the chat, share some of the values that you guys have, whether that's financial values, life values. I'd love to see kind of where we're at here. Who's got some values that they can share?
They're starting to come in, Jen.
I
So
love
service,
that.
learning, fairness, integrity, accountability, fun.
I love these. And Christine even leads with these on her LinkedIn headline. I saw when I connected with her. These are some of mine. And values can be a word, they can be a sentence, like supporting small women-owned, BIPOC-owned local businesses. Our values show up every single day in our money purchases. So also drop in the chat, when is a time that money's brought you joy? Man, Shelly talking about her pilgrimage. I know anybody who participates in that in September will be a moment that money will bring them joy. Buying a sewing machine. Yes. I love that. Because Christine, like that sewing machine allows you to participate in your hobbies or in your business or however you want. It's more than just the item that we bring, and money brings us joy in so many different ways. Golf trips, concerts, travel. I love this. Now we have to align as much as we can our spending with our values. And if you are unclear on your current values, your current spending will illuminate what you're currently valuing. And this is a great opportunity for you to do some reflection and see if where you're currently at is aligned with all these values and all these opportunities that money's brought us joy. So my action for you today is to review the last 3 months of spending and note which transactions are aligned with which values. And the goal is to not go from 0% spending in our values to 100% spending in our values. We're never seeking perfectionism. If we seek perfectionism, it is going to be a stressful, frustrating, negative experience. But if we are seeking incremental changes, slight changes, maybe we can make 3 swaps a month on our values aligned spending. And, you know, I go to a large chain grocery store to buy my groceries, but I live up in Boulder right now, and there is a local grocer that I went to, and I spent $8 on the acai packets that I usually buy for $5 at the large chain grocery. But I want there to be options. I want there to be independent grocers, so I can make these small incremental changes where once a month I'm shopping at the local store and the other I'm saving money here. So again, we're trying to find these just incremental swaps that we can make, or ways that we can spend in more alignment in our values. Because thinking about these times that you shared, of the times that money brought you joy, what if you could 10x your spending in that category? So what if you can spend more time singing in the band, go on more experiences like a hot air balloon, surprising your children. These are incredible things and ways that we can spend in more alignment to our values. How does that feel? Good. I also would love for you guys to share in the chat now, how did you choose your current bank? Shelly, since you're off mute, do you want to share? Do you have an answer to this?
Well, I bank at Chase, and that's my nephew's name, but that's a terrible excuse, Jen. It was like what we use since college, right?
Yeah. Yes. I was with Chase for a long time. My parents opened my first savings account at the local bank in our town. And through a lot of the acquisitions in the 90s, ultimately I became a member at Chase. And loyalty is one of my values. And when I would call Chase, they would say, "Thank you, Miss Uhen, for being a loyal customer since this year." And it would bring me so much joy because that's one of my values of loyalty. But as I looked into Chase and the way that they use my deposits, I didn't feel like they were values aligned. So my friends over at Mighty Deposits said, your deposits are the fuel that determine which people, projects, and industries get funded. And generally, our bank choice has not been a very intentional one, or not been considered in alignment with our values. And this is an opportunity to consider that. I love seeing all these comments in the chat. Please keep them coming. So of course, our values can't be our only determining factor in our financial decisions. So here are a handful of factors when choosing a bank. The type of relationship that you're going to have. My banker called, well, actually 2 people from my bank called me because one, I got a debit card and they started charging me for it. So I emailed my business bank specialist today and I said, hey, remember when you gave me that thing a year ago and it was free for a year and now you're charging me? I don't want it anymore. I never use it. And she just canceled it over that. Like just that. I didn't have to go into a branch. I didn't have to talk to a computer. I didn't have to sit on hold for an hour. I love having that relationship with my bank. Your goals matching their products and services. So the bank that I bank with now, my husband and I have owned businesses before. We also own quite a bit of real estate. And so their products and services aligned with our goals of using our deposits to fund public works projects, to fund mortgages. Convenience is something I hear quite a bit. Fees, technology, and of course, our values. So my action for you guys on this banking conversation is to research your bank on mightydeposits.com or gabv.org. So what Mighty Deposits does is it takes all the federal information that banks and credit unions need to supply every year, and it gives them a score of how much money is staying in your community and looking at the 10 ESG factors, how they are using your deposits to determine which people, projects, and industries get funded. So if you do want to research your current bank and consider this as a moment to find a more values-aligned bank. What's beautiful about making a switch in the banking thing is that often it's a free switch. This isn't going to cost you any money. You don't have to let go of any of your money. You can make a more values-aligned switch with your money through banking. Shelly has mentioned before the Pledgettes. Please keep in touch. I'm going to hand it on back to Shelly as we then switch more into the investing space.
Shelly, you're on mute.
Unmute. Ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Great to be here today. This is such a important piece for me because, as you can imagine, I'm a financial advisor. I've been there for 25 years. And so a lot of what I do is behind the scenes, analytical, digging into numbers and companies and just, you know, trying to figure out what the best place for people is to help them manage their money and investing and things of that nature. But what I want to talk today about, and what I'm really passionate about, is creating that alignment with investing and the purpose for why you're doing that, and taking it into the next level in transition. Like, we're on this great platform today as career connectors. That means you're maybe looking for a new career, or you're considering it, or you're in that transition already. And honestly, when people make changes in finance, it's when they are in transition. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get a little bit more into my details. Just one second. So my background, as I said, 25 years in the investment industry. And just go back here. Sorry, I don't think it's shared. Okay, there we go. Anyway, 25 years in the investment industry. I also, like Jen, grew up with a family who taught me about money. More specifically, my dad, at 10 years old, we were sitting around the dining room table, and he taught us how to trade stocks. We took our allowance money, and we were, back in the day, we had the newspaper spread out, right? That was like a long time ago when everything was in the newspaper. There wasn't like a screen with all the stock symbols and things like that out there. So we actually started investing when my siblings and I, when we were really young. And that is a very different, you know, experience than a lot of people have. And so when I share that experience, people are like, well, I can't relate to that. So how do I make those connections, and how do I change the way I think about investing and make a difference in my financial situation, right? So it goes back to the values and our purpose. So again, today you guys are out there looking for career change, possibly you're in the midst of it. I've seen some of you post that you're ready to get a new career started, whatever that is. So any spark inside of us can make an impact when we light it, right? And this is what I hope to share with you today on finances and how we manage money a little differently. Let's see, it's not, oh, sorry about that. So the road to where we're going, right? We don't know where we're going. We have no definitive path, but we have an idea and a sense of what that looks like for us. When you look at managing money and you're looking at career change, being purposeful and proactive in your choices for that new job gives you the freedom to put yourself and your needs first, right? That's exactly the place you want to be with your finances. Engaged, proactive, thoughtful, and educated. And what we try to do is make it a little less boring. Putting the pieces of the puzzle together. It may feel like you have a lot on your plate when you're contemplating these changes that are going on in your life. However, it's the best time to visit your financial picture and make a connection with your money. We've talked today, Shelly's talked about it, Jenn's talked about it, creating that relationship, making those connections. That's really what, for us and for me, in my experience, it's about is financial planning and really getting connected personally to what money means to you. And during times of transition, it's an uncertainty, right? You're not sure where you're going to land, how much you're going to make. You know, you certainly work with Shelly to get you the best possible income you can and put yourself out there. But at the end of the day, you want to go into that situation with the confidence knowing that you can do this and you can make choices that are aligned with your life choices, your goals, your values, not just for money, but money comes as we make those choices first, right? Kind of back to what Shelly said, when we open ourselves up to abundance and all of that flows to us, but we still have to understand how that is impacted with our planning and our financials. So what is financial planning? I'm sure, you know, a lot of you, I don't know how many of you, if you can put in the chat, have actually been and engaged in an actual financial plan with an advisor. That's great. I don't, you know, again, in my 25 years of experience, a very limited time do people come to me with an existing plan. They come to me during a transition period, which could be a death or a divorce, which is the most common, unfortunately. But the truth is, planning is so enlightening and creates such a purpose for creating lifestyle choices. So financial planning gives you the path, right? A path to follow, define goals, measurable results, feelings of confidence, relief. It's basically takes a snapshot of your current financial situation and then helps you create that step-by-step process to achieve your goal. Just like anything we're doing in life, right? If we're planning a vacation, for example, we're going to take the steps like in Shelly's upcoming event, exciting time, you're going to have to make those plans. She's making the plans to make that all happen. That's no different with our money. And I find often than not that people go, I don't want to do that because I don't think I have enough for the goals that I want to achieve, that I have in my mind. But ultimately, I can tell you the experience of doing financial planning actually is more opening and gets you more on that path where you're like, I actually can do this. And I see how this can work for me. Oh, here we go. Maybe, here we go. So ultimately, having a plan helps you reach your goals by being diversified in all your investments. And that includes, anything traditional, like your 401ks are invested in equities, bonds, there's some cash in there. You have your real estate. You may have dreams to start a business. It's understanding how all of those fit together. Yes. How all of those fit together in that puzzle to help you, weather through anything in life, any uncertainty. And those uncertainties can be good things too, right? Like when you want to give of your resources to others, you can feel more certain doing that when you understand what the planning process looks like in your situation. Okay, so again, in my world, it's pretty black and white and it's a lot of analysis. But what I really feel so strong about and what makes me a little bit different in what I do is this education process. And back to what Jenn had talked about before, creating values, right? I always say, start with a plan, financial plan but use your purpose statement. Create those purpose statements before you even sit down with a planner or start crunching those numbers or looking at those statements. And that's really going to help you define what that money is all about. Creating purpose statements gives us purpose and value, right? Where we make deeper connections for our money. And it's not then just, like I said, statements that come in the mail once a month or once a quarter. It becomes much deeper and more meaningful. And no matter where you are in your goal setting, whether it's short term, 3 years out, or long term, retirement planning, that kind of thing, or you're already in retirement, once you align and create these purpose and values around your money and your financial planning, you start to see the impact that this money can make. And then you become more engaged, which means then you're going to be more involved and more in tune with what the choices are you're making in your financial plan with your investments. Okay. So again, align your financial situation with your values. I put this in the chat earlier. A lot of my, my values, my core values are really around family, community, and experiences. And as Shelly mentioned earlier, we have daughters. I have twins, so they're both in her daughter's class. So, but the point of this is, when I had my kids, I realized the impact I have on them, right? As a spender, as an investor, as a saver, my financial habits directly are seen by them, and they're these sponges. And so when I started to back out and say, how do I represent the way I manage money, the way I value money in our family, and how do I represent that to them? It becomes so much more impactful for me. And then I can show them how they, can help within their community, and how the money that we are blessed to have and that we earn and that we choose to spend different ways can create different experiences. And then within that, in the financial planning world, all of the aspects of our finances, right? Tax planning. Hello, we're right there, right? Shelly mentioned that before, getting ready to pay taxes. Yeah, fun time. But we are then prepared for it. It's not this like, oh my gosh, it's tax time, I got to figure this out. It's something that you do on a consistent basis, and you find that you feel more compelled to make better choices. And a perfect example of tax planning is, if you like to give, if you like to be philanthropic, that can always help in tax planning. And so if you are thinking about the alignment and making those choices earlier on, or being more consistent, it can really help you in times like these, when we're getting ready to pay the tax bill, for example. So these are just all of the areas that we talk about in financial planning, and that, we really try to embrace as we're going through the process, but making connections in all of these and how you can make an impact, but really make it personal and relatable. So, relationship to money. I just believe in this so much, and we talk about that a lot on this call so far, but what it really means is, when you look at relationships that you have in your life, like I always say, I've had dear friends for a very long time, and sometimes we don't talk for a while, right? And I relate that back to money. I may not look at my money in a big picture planning perspective all the time, but it's a friend that I want to revisit more frequently instead of be afraid to connect with. It's something that I want to have in my life that I can turn to and know that I can find security through education and consistency, right? And that's basically what a relationship is. You create a financial story, and it allows you to have the lifestyle you want to live. Rather than thinking of money in terms of budget, like on a monthly basis, think of it as choices. Jen mentioned that. Choices in the lifestyle that you live every day. And going back to how you align your spending, saving, and investing with your needs, your wants, your wishes, your desires. Purpose-driven choices. So we've talked about this quite a bit. Jen's talked about it, and I get into this in a program that I teach online that I'll mention later. But it's really about, when we get true knowledge, confidence, and engagement, then we can make these choices that drive socially responsible decisions that we may want to make with our investment. We get engaged with their communities. The last one is, what's in your cabinet? oftentimes, women that I meet in finances, and that's predominantly who's on the call today, even though I do work with a lot of men, we just say, I don't know what to invest in at the end of the day. I have a diversified portfolio, I pick mutual funds, but I don't really know what's in there. And I always say, open up your cabinet and what do you purchase? Like, what do you buy all the time? What products do you use? And because you spend so much money on them, like because you like the product historically, right? You use it on a regular basis. Is that a company that you actually would invest your money in? And do you believe that they're doing the right things for your community and for the world in which we live, right? And that magnitude of really getting a little bit deeper in the kind of products that you actually buy and purchase, and then thinking about them as an investment choice, makes a big impact on your engagement with your money and your investments. I do, back to Jenn's example with the bank. Again, would you invest in the bank that you utilize every day for your product or for your needs, right? Is that the kind of company that you would actually put your money in to invest for you? I will say right now, a big example is I have clients calling me going, do we have money invested in Russia? And the truth is, yes, because if you own a big, large bank in your investment portfolio, like a JP Morgan, they're invested in Russia. And it's not that I'm saying that that's, they had any perception that this could happen or anything of that nature, but we have to start thinking about, as women, as the ability, we have this major ability to control the financial resources in this country and the world. And if we just start to align our investments and our spending with real choices that we believe in, we will make a huge impact. And those companies, those massive companies, will start to listen by means of money investments by women, right? And I see Jenn nodding her head. I mean, I get so excited about this, but truly, when women invest in companies they believe in, we truly can change the world by means of money. And it's a truth. It's unfortunately somewhat of a truth, but it's a power that we have that we can create. And it's pretty exciting when you think about being able to do that with our impact. So these are 3 statements that I really continually live by, and I just mentioned one, but when we are empowered financially, we make better choices. When we're educated and well-versed, we make better choices. We feel more confident. When we invest in ourselves, we change the world, we make an impact. And then when we invest in companies we believe in, we truly can change history. So when you look at planning, again, just going back to this, this is kind of the cycle that we always talk about. You create your plan, you've been through your purpose-driven goals and values, you've talked about and thought about the money that you have for investment. And at the end of the day, the key is that you've got to keep the circle going, that this is ongoing. This isn't one time, this isn't when you go into a transitional period, this is ongoing. And it may not be quarterly. We like to say do this quarterly. That may be a little too much. My program that I teach a lot deeper into this experience is called seasonal finance. So I try to align the seasons of the year as we make changes with investing and managing money. But ultimately, it's all about just being engaged and making sure that you continue to go on this process, that you don't stop, right? Because things change not only in our own, in our own economic conditions, but clearly in the world, as we're seeing recently and over the last couple of years, quite frankly. So more than anything, I just encourage you to think about money in a different way. Create that relationship with money, however that relates to you in your current situation and wherever you are. But think about it in a different way. Put the past behind you. Embrace that you've had those experiences, but it's fresh and new. And everything we do, just like a new job or a transition in life, has the possibilities that are endless, right? And that is true with your money. So I encourage you to just do something different. Jenn gave you some great ideas. If you would like to join my seasonal finance program, it's online and it is free. I am a a financial planner and an advisor. And, Jen went through these great disclosures. I'm not giving you any personal advice here, but I do get into a lot more details in my program. But I also encourage you, as we are doing here, it's about creating personal connections to help you reach those goals as well. And wherever you are in your situation, whoever you work with, engage them in a deeper, more meaningful way and create something that is so different than you ever thought could be. One last thing I'll leave you with that I enjoy doing is vision planning, vision boards. And so you will see that in my seasonal finance program, but you can create an online vision board for your financial situation. So it's done by, time horizons, and it creates a very different approach than a traditional financial plan, but it gets you on the path to start thinking about money when it relates to time horizons and values and purpose. So I hope you guys learned something a little bit different regarding finances and investing and how important it is to really make the connection with money and personal values. And once you do that, it will be a completely different experience for you. So thank you.
Shelly, Jen, thank you so much. There's so many nuggets for me personally, and I hope that as our audience, you also got that. I want to talk about the community of the Pledgettes and the community of what Shelly was just talking about. Having those thoughts in your head about being afraid of money. I didn't grow up with my parents talking to me about money. In fact, my father was like, oh, girls aren't good at math. Girls aren't going to do good with that. So for me, it's not just about money, but I love the values piece. And Jen and I were chatting in the message, and we wanted to talk about community a little bit more as well. The reason that as the founder of Colorado Career Connectors, I know that money is an anxiety point and a nervous point for my candidates and my community. That's why I'm bringing this content to you. And what Shelly said, it is through that community and through connections. And talk to your personal advisor, your financial advisor. There's enough space for everyone that as women especially, that we lean in, that we feel better about what we're doing and that it aligns with our values. And I put a question in the chat earlier about have your values and have the way that you look at money changed in the pandemic. And for me, and I know for a lot of emerging leaders, and for example, Shelly, thank you so much for saying, if you're with a big organization, you probably are invested in Russia. I hadn't even thought about that at all. So Jen, I want to turn it over to you now and talk a little bit about community, and then let's just have a conversation about this. We're also happy for the next 10 minutes to take question and answers from you on how we can specifically help you and what you got out of this. So Jen, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, I think the number one question that I always get is, can you introduce me to an advisor? I think we're taught that, the advisor knows everything. We don't know anything. And that's so the old school way of it. And advisors like Shelly are doing it the new way, where we do get to have conversations about goals and values and do that in community. But community is so important. Taboo topics like money, we're taught, figure it out yourself. Read all the books, go to a one-on-one program, hire one person to do everything. And it really goes beyond that. When we can normalize having money conversations, we can be better negotiators. We can be better sponsors and support mentorship and mentees and build out what I call our financial A-team, which includes growth partners like financial advisors and those licensed professionals that can help you achieve your goals, connectors like Shelly and myself who love to introduce you to the right people, and was it Lisa at the beginning Linda at the beginning that you introduced, who is a great connector? Lisa, okay. And then we also have mentors and mentees, our financial friends that can celebrate our wins with us, whether we're getting a new job, getting a new client, making a confident money move. and diverse thinkers of those who are using their money and leveraging their money in different ways. I just invested in crypto for the first time last year. I have very, very little money in it because it's volatile and I don't understand. And I believe, you know, but I'm learning, and I learn when I talk to other people who are invested in crypto, like, how do they evaluate risk? And then I can kind of take their experiences and their strategies and use it in the investment strategies that I'm in. So I think, like, taking this down and taking it away from being a taboo topic, we can all learn from each other, and we can build our financial A-team of the professionals and the financial friends that we have, and have fun in this journey when we get to do things together. You know, there's all these cliches of better together, and, you know, not being the self-made man, and so celebrating being community-made women that don't feel like you have to be so solo in this journey. My community is my family and my partner and my financial A-team, and all of these people who are helping me achieve my financial goals and have fun while I'm doing it. Money should totally be fun.
Jen, thanks for saying that. I've been to a couple of your Pledgette meetings, and they are fun, and it's not taboo, and it's okay to recognize that we all have fear around this topic, and that financial freedom is not easy to come by. And so I'm glad that you put the website in there. Shelly, what are your topics on community, or what are your hints around that?
You know, I think the biggest thing too with community is, for me, you know, it doesn't matter what I'm trying to do with my life. If I open myself up and bring community in, like with business coaches or people that, you know, Shelly and career connectors, I think about who do I meet, and what is that exposure that I get, and what do I learn from it? And truthfully, that's what life is about, right? It's about learning and opening yourself up to new possibilities. And without that, when it comes to money and finances, we are, like Shelly has said, I hear this all the time, I just don't want to deal with it, so I don't, because I have these feelings that I don't have enough, or I'm never going to get where I want to be. And instead, you'll be quite surprised, I think, if you open yourself up, like with Pledgettes and different communities that engage us as women with our finances in a totally different way than we ever have, we just become something very different, and the way we perceive and the changes we can truly make. So I do so much in my life with community connections, and you know, I have great CPAs I work with and great attorneys, and those are those traditional, you know, people. But when I open myself up to the other possibilities of business consultants and people of that nature that think that are in a different realm than me, I learn so much more.
So no matter where your community is, this topic about money, especially in transitions, another thing that I want you to know, because we have women on this call, is that you are worth it. You are worth what you want to ask for. That equity is becoming much more of a topic, and good companies, I mean, there's a law now in Colorado that companies need to give the salary range. Don't just go by that. Recruiters actually hate that because it limits their candidate pool. If you know that you're worth more than the salary job posted, reach out to that recruiter, have a conversation. Then you're probably thinking, but I'm going to get ghosted. That does happen. Let me give you an example. I have a client who did not apply to a position that she really, really wanted. And so I challenged her to actually put herself out there and apply. And I connected them together, and she's now interviewing for that role, and they know what she's looking for. So I don't want you to have these limiting beliefs about money, about asking what you're worth. Use your community. And so there's been a lot of awesome dialogue in the chat. And I love that idea about Chinese New Year, Jen. That is so true. There are different resources here for you. And so what questions are popping up? Oh, there's a lot of things out there on vision boards. So what can either Shelly or Jen provide for insight on vision boarding?
So I honestly, I'm a very tactile person. So I really like the vision board with pictures, and even if they are using digital photos. So I haven't personally used a lot of the online digital tools at this point, but I will certainly research some of that. But there's something to be said for, you know, really focusing on your values and purpose and your money when you're aligning the vision board, because that's what this is all about. When I talk about the vision board planning, it's specifically relating to financial planning and how you create those time horizons for different monies that you have, right? So I would encourage you to, I have a short video that's just on vision board planning on seasonal finance. You can go and click on there and watch it. And it is a, you know, just a fun experience, really, but it'll walk you through how to do that. And then you can create one online too after that as well.
Yeah, Shelly, I saw you also sharing yours. I have a version in my planner. So there's something that I bring it with me everywhere I go. I have stuff on the fridge. I have stuff in my office. One of my hacks with my partner is I put a Post-it up of like our big goals, and then they just magically get done. Like he just magically does them with me. If they're just on our refrigerator, it's kind of a Jedi mind trick that I do. And I think everything can kind of be a vision board. Like my current photo on my phone is of an experience that I had that I want to have more experiences like that. I also will keep Post-its like in the back of my phone case with just my 3 values that I'm working on. I've got a mantra for the year. Like I love going super woo-woo just to keep what's important in front of me and surrounding me, because then I'm reminded when I'm making all my intentional money moves and choices, investing, spending, banking, all of them, that my values are with me, my values are surrounding me, and I'm making more intentional, purposeful choices.
I was trying to show my vision board that I did at Second Act Women, which I highly recommend to everyone. There are several members here that you create a vision board. It's my 20th anniversary this year. And so I'm thinking big, like I want to go on a great trip other than Spain and Portugal, which again are about abundance, but like, what is your return? And for me, it aligns back with those values of traveling the world, achieving life balance, living with joy. And so I hope that's what we've been able to give all of you as well. We are coming up on the hour. I want to thank Shelly Schell as one of our gold sponsors, and her information is out on our website under sponsors. Jenn Uhen, also thank you so much. Jen is doing a 5-day financial literacy at the end of April that I would love to see all of you at. I have a personal goal this month of figuring out the right CPA, figuring out all of my planning, and really living into my values. So I want all of you to go like this to Jen and Shelly and thank them so much for the past hour. And again, we have Katie Ortman, who is a vice president at IQ Clarity. She has had cancer for the past 9 years. She is in remission. She has a story that you do not want to miss about living life to the fullest, because April is all about abundance, living into your values, leveraging your community. And if I can personally help you to increase your job abundance or your career abundance, let's unleash your career and professional edge together. Thank you so much, everyone. It was so awesome to have all of you. And again, thank you to Shelly and Jen. I'll stay on a few minutes longer if you would like, or if you have any questions.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Shelly. Awesome. Hey, Jen, thanks for bringing up that community piece. I think that's super important. And I loved all of the insights that you gave about Post-it notes, and Shelly, that ring is just, that's exactly what I need to be reminded of. So I'm feeling like I can lean into my money fears and go into Tosha Silver's book and have more abundance this month. And so thank you so much for your help. I hope that you make some connections through this. And for everyone out there, Ada and Yvette, I hope you feel better. Ada, I'll follow up and send you information on El Camino de Santiago. Until then, hasta luego.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.